drive. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal. Malcolm Butler, who almost made the phenomenal play that wound up in Percy's arms. There are flags on the field for a celebration. Amazing. Butler, a rookie free agent out of West Alabama.
They try to pick play, Al. They tried to go here, but he beats them to the punch. And I'm sorry, but I can't believe the call.
Me neither.
I cannot believe the call. You've got Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. You've got a guy that's been borderline unstoppable in this part of the field. I can't believe the call.
And there is Brady. As demonstrative as ever, and Richard Sherman.
Wow. Welcome to Sports Biz with LD. I'm your host, Larry Davis, brought to you by the Daily Blue. Can you believe that? What a Super Bowl. And I don't want to, I predicted that New England would win, but I wasn't feeling that way at halftime. Malcolm Butler will live in infamy with an interception in the Super Bowl that continues to be talked about and will continue to be talked about for years and years and years. Where do you begin? I don't know anyone who agrees with the play calling of Mr. Pete Carroll, the head coach. You have Marshawn Lynch, who's as dominating a running back in the NFL. You're on the 1 yard line. It's second down, and you decide to throw the ball. Now, of course, if he scores, we wouldn't even be talking about it. We probably would be talking how Coach Belichick let all the time go off on the clock, but giving Tom Brady and the offense no chance really to come back. But that's not what we're talking about today. Unbelievable. And the interesting thing that Marshawn Lynch, who did not speak to the media, well, he went up there and said, I'm only here because I have to be, and ended up not getting fined, which is another joke. And he doesn't get fined for the hat he's wearing because they said it ended up being licensed apparel from New Era. New Era is the official cap maker of the NFL, so they say it was okay, which I think, again, Goodell is just running. He's running scared. We'll get into his press conference a little bit later in the show. Unbelievable. Unbelievable Super Bowl. I thought at halftime when New England let up a touchdown in 31 seconds. In 31 seconds, I figured that's it. Tie game, 14 and a half. When New England dominated the first half, I figured it's over. I figured Seattle's going to win. But that's not happened. Well, the man of the hour, the man that we want to hear what he has to say, let's hear from Pete Carroll in his press conference the next day after he had time to think about it, because it's easily we could have went with the press conference of the day after the game. And by the way, I want to thank NBC Sports, Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth for the call in the beginning of the show. Let's go to Pete Carroll, how he's spinning how they're feeling after the call.
A very young team that's got a lot of future and a lot of hope, and we're going all kinds of places, and everybody knows that. But with that, there's this shock and disappointment that this game gets away from us and goes another way right at the finish line, and so it's something that we have to deal with. That in the long run of it, will make us stronger, and we'll be able to put it in some kind of perspective. It's pretty hard right now. I think y'all understand that.
What's it supposed to say? Everybody's good in that locker room? You kidding me, Pete? But again, that's what he's supposed to say. There's no one good in that locker room. Maybe Russell Wilson, the quarterback, because, he had the play. I mean, could he have changed it? Yeah, but he's not changed. He's a young quarterback, and the play comes in, and he believes he can make the play. He believes he can get the quick slant over the middle. He doesn't think he's going to throw an interception. But again, it goes back to the play calling. I mean, the play was called by the offensive coordinator, and I'm sure Pete Carroll approved it. He let it go. He thought he could make it, because I'm sure they've made it during the year. But just because that's the way it's always been, you have Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. Let's go to Pete Carroll talking about how the players, after he spoke to the players, how they're handling the call.
But the interactions with the players last night and this morning, their determination, their resolve about where we're going and what we're doing is absolutely clear, and they're very strong about it. And the future is very, very bright for us, and we all know that. So, just disappointed we have to bring this home to our fans and the following and all the families and all that, because it was so close to being on the other end of the spectrum, a million miles from where we are right now. And it's just something we have to just live with. Be with a little bit of.
A million miles from where we are right now. This goes to the old ABC Wide World of Sports. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. I'm sorry. Players, he's bringing up players and families and all that stuff. I'm sorry, Pete. No one in that locker room is not questioning that call. The interesting thing, Marshawn Lynch, when he was asked about the call, said it's a team game. I mean, you gotta love that about Marshawn Lynch. I mean, I'm very surprised that he said that. You figured he would have said, listen, we deal with the call. Would I have loved the ball? Yeah, but that's not what he said. He pretty much said that the call's the call and they are a team and it's a team game. Let's get back to Pete for one last clip of what his thoughts were on the actual play call.
Time to kind of reflect. What are your thoughts on that last play?
Well, it didn't work. It didn't work out, and the sequence. Well, I really was so confident that we were going to get it done that to go ahead and make the call that we made was just part of the sequence, and we had a very clear thought about what was going on. It's really easy. When we run the ball, we might run it in and score. When we throw the ball, we might catch a touchdown pass and score right there as well. And so it's really easy to look at it that way from the outside. But we were very confident in the sequence, and we were going to use every play. The idea is always have all your plays available, not run the clock out and there's another down left. And so we had that organized to do that. And unfortunately, let me say this too. We don't ever call a play. I don't even ever coach these guys at one time thinking that they're going to throw an interception. I'm thinking that we're going to fumble the ball. I'm thinking that they're going to do something, catch the ball and take it back for a touchdown. I don't ever think that. And so when we make our decisions, just like we make the decision with 6 seconds left in the half, we are counting on our guys. We're trusting the process. We go with what we know and what we've learned and how we can believe in our guys. And that's why we do what we do. And that's why sometimes, we get scrutinized for stuff. Why would you do this? Why would you do that? It's because we believe in that it's going to work. And we believe that things are going to happen. Why do you call the fake field goal? Because we believed it was going to go and it was going to work. So that's maybe difficult on the outside to understand that, but that's how we go. So there was not a thought in my mind that we would make a mistake on that play. And really, the mistake was a tremendous play by a guy on the other side. Just unbelievable decision and choice to make a play to change the game, and that won them their championship.
Pete, you said it. Real easy to run. So why not run? You said it. It's real easy to run. Everything Pete's saying, it could be. You're going through the sequences. That's the plays that you picked. Of course, we know you're not thinking that it's not going to work. Everybody knows that. And we know you have confidence in everything. We know you didn't want to throw an interception. But the play call there with timeouts, you had timeouts, was to run the ball to Marshawn Lynch. You could spin it or try every which way you can. You got to say, listen, Pete Carroll is up there, as he should. Not like Roger Goodell, the commissioner, who runs away from everything. Pete Carroll's there answering all the questions, and as he should, like I said, but there's not much to answer here. Of course he's not going to say, we made a mistake. I guess not, or maybe he could have said that. He didn't. Coach Bevel, who's the offensive coordinator, I don't know. People are not looking at him too good for making that call. The call was just terrible. And it brings back a couple of years ago, San Antonio Spurs, the class of the NBA, were up 2-0 on the Miami Heat. LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, the Miami Heat. And then they lost 4 straight games, San Antonio. And then the following year, which was last year, all year long, their mantra and their focus was to get back to the finals and win. And that's what they did. So is it possible Seattle could do that? Absolutely possible. It's a huge hill to climb, and it's something that's what Pete's going to use. In my opinion, I would use San Antonio Spurs as the bulletin board material for his team. But they are not happy. No one on that team. And he also made a good point that, the Malcolm Butler made a very good play. He's right. I would think 8 out of 10 times the quarterback or the safety is going to drop that. And they're going to say, oh, he should have had the interception and he dropped it. That could have happened, but it didn't. And then Tom Brady, who won the MVP, I think he got a Chevy truck. He said the other day he's going to give it to Malcolm, as he should. First thing, Tom, you're not going to do it in that Chevy truck anyhow. It's going to sit in your massive driveway. We never even drive it. So it is a nice gesture on your part, but you wouldn't use it anyhow. But Malcolm Butler could use it. Free agent, wasn't drafted. He's on the team. And that's just a great story. I would hope that he went with Tom Brady to Disney. But, you come down to the Pete Carroll talking about the team and him making that call and agreeing with the call. Yeah, you're right, Pete. There's no doubt you didn't expect an interception. If you did, you wouldn't have called it. But everybody was looking for a run. Yeah, you're right. There were 8 men in the box. Yeah, so you got the beast, Marshawn Lynch. You got one of the top offensive lines in the NFL. Plus, you were the leading rushing team in the NFL. Mano a mano. You think they could stop you? No problem. You had 3 tries, second, third, and fourth. And you talked about scoring before halftime. That was a fade route. That was quarterback's 2 steps, drops, and just throws it in the corner, especially when there's only a yard out of the goal line. Boom, boom, throw it in the corner. If your guy don't catch it, hopefully they don't intercept it, play's over. 5 seconds, top. Just tough to spin it any way you can. In closing on that, Pete, the players aren't happy. You're not happy. There's no one happy. No one in Seattle is happy. Nobody is happy with the play call, and it will go down as the way the Dwight catch with Joe Montana. Dwight Clark catch is called the catch. This will be always called the call, not the play, the call. It ended up being the highest ticket prices for the Super Bowl. Next week, I want to bring on John Anthony, a friend of the show, A1 VIP Entertainment, who was at the game, the ticket prices were ridiculous. Soaring, going crazy. A lot of things went on down there. He told me it was probably from his business, one of the worst years ever. It was the highest ticket price ever, but he just couldn't make money because they were saying these tickets were out there and they weren't. And it was in the top 3 rated Super Bowls of all time. Okay, of all time. Brady and Belichick could go down as the greatest combo ever. We'll get back to that in a second. I want to get into, we have a little bit more clip here. You heard me last week. Roger Goodell, the commissioner, just lost me. Got nothing for the guy anymore. I don't have the respect. The guy's running and hiding. His press conference, which I talked about last week, was just going on when we came onto tape. Well, we were live, but came to do the show, which was a joke. He was just dancing and dancing. He should have been on Dancing with the Stars. I really think after that, they should probably ask him if he wants to be on Dancing with the Stars. That's basically what he did. He was dancing. And I want to show you a clip from that. Rachel Nichols, a very well-respected woman, sports reporter, who was with ESPN for many years. Now she's with CNN. Here's one of the questions that she asked. Again, I had said last week, there's no repeat questions. So you can ask a question, there's no follow-up, so the person getting interviewed can get away with not answering it, because the next person has their own question. Let's see the question by Rachel Nichols in full and the answer by Commissioner Roger Goodell.
Rachel Nichols from CNN. Roger, you guys have faced a lot of problems over the past year that have a really wide range, but a lot of the issues have in common is a conflict of interest. When you do something like hire an outside investigator like Ted Wells into the Patriots investigation, you're still paying him, and Robert Kraft, who owns the Patriots, is still paying you. So even when you do everything right in one of those situations, it opens you guys up to a credibility gap with some of the public and even with some of your most high-profile players. What steps can you guys take in the future to mitigate some of those conflict of interest issues?
Well, Rachel, I don't agree with you on a lot of the assumptions you make in your question. I think we have had people that have uncompromising integrity. Robert Mueller is an example who, I think you asked me the same question last fall about a conflict of interest. Their integrity is impeccable. Ted Wells' integrity is impeccable. These are professionals that bring an outside expertise, an outside perspective, and their conclusions are drawn by the evidence and only by the attempt to try and to identify that truth. So I think we have done an excellent job of bringing outside consultants in. Somebody has to pay them, Rachel. So unless you're volunteering, which I don't think you are, we will do that. But we have the responsibility to protect the integrity of the league, whether we have an owner that's being investigated or whether we have a commissioner that's being investigated. They're done at the highest level of integrity and quality.
I mean, Commissioner, she's just asking a question. Then you're going back at her and telling her, would you volunteer? I don't think you'd volunteer. I don't know where that comes from. Do I believe that you believe these people are the highest integrity, and they probably are? Yeah, they probably are. But she's asking you a question, and that's how you answer her. It sounds like you're demeaning her when she's just trying to find out, you know, shouldn't you maybe be using people who have absolutely nothing to do with the NFL, have no ties at all with the NFL? Those people are out there, senators, legislators, and they're all attorneys anyhow. I don't understand why you're all after her. I mean, what did she do? And it's another question that you danced. You didn't answer at that press conference whether Marshawn Lynch is going to get fined. And he ends up not getting fined. You announced it Monday, Tuesday, right afterwards. Why didn't you announce it then? Why can't you just answer the questions? When they asked you about Bob Kraft, the owner of New England Patriots, will you send him an apology? I did like how you said, listen, he'll be treated like everyone else. But, you know, if you guys end up being wrong, does Bob deserve an apology? You could have said, well, maybe, but you just dodged that question as well. And then when they asked you about, are you always going to be there for everyone? Because Richard Sherman said the players are supposed to be there. Why isn't the commissioner? And you said, I'm here all the time, Monday through Friday. Well, Commissioner Goodell, how come the day of the game on NBC, which, you know, they're in the billion range with everyone else to get your product, okay? Bob Costas, the well-respected reporter, guy everyone respects, very well-respected, as I said, he asked you to be on the pregame show. On your game. This is it. This is your show. This is what you're all about. You're the commissioner of the league. Years ago, you'd always be on. Everything's good. You want to be on every show you can. You turned him down. You denied him an interview. You're the commissioner. The commissioner of the NFL, you're supposed to be there. You only want to be there when everything's great, like everyone else. That's what happens as a public figure. Just like the players have to be there after the game when Russell Wilson makes throws an interception. Pete Carroll makes a terrible, terrible call. Where's the commissioner? You're running since the beginning of the year. I don't believe you're a great commissioner. Yeah, the money is out of control. Anyone would negotiate those. Those deals weren't negotiated. You guys threw out ridiculous numbers, and then people wanted it because your product's the #1 product on TV. Who doesn't want that? Biggest prices for commercials this year ever, $4.5 million. Sold out on the telecast. You want to reach 110 million people and spend $4.5 million? You got it. 110 million people are going to see your product and what you got for $4.5 million. Commissioner, you get an F this year for what you've done with the NFL. I mean, if I was one of the owners, I'd want you out because your job is to represent, do the right thing, and make us look good. Making all that money, the product's there. You know, when you got something everybody wants, it's not difficult. Don't tell me you're a great negotiator. You're not a great negotiator. Anyone could have did those negotiations. And the president and the commissioner before you, Paul Tagliabue, in an interview, I forget what magazine, said, doesn't hear from you, would love to. He's the one who got you in there. And he said he never hears from you, and that's because of you, not because of him. He's reached out to talk to you. And he said he believes that all the players feel you're not for them, you're only for the owners. Now, I understand you're paid by the league and, quote-unquote, paid by the owners, but your job is to make everybody good, everybody happy. That's the idea of it. You don't want to just be the guy who's the owner's guy. You want to be a player's guy, too, trying to be a fair person in all of these endeavors. So I believe Brady and Belichick will go down as the greatest tandem in NFL history. Not a question in my mind. There's many, many years left for the two of them. They're in a record 6 Super Bowls. 6. 6 Super Bowls. You kidding me? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. One of the greatest Super Bowls ever, except for when the Giants win. Because the Giants win, that's my favorite team. Of course, nothing's better than that. And the Giants beat the Patriots 2 of the 3 times they lost. So the Patriots are 3-3 in the Super Bowl. Belichick, Brady, 2 of the greatest combo coach, quarterback ever, if not the best, right up there with them. And one more win will make them the best. That's a wrap. Got to say thank you for the Daily Blue to having me. Sports Biz with LD. I'm your host, Larry Davis.